I am not crying, you guys are. Because let's take a moment and just do. History has been created at the D.Y. Patil Stadium because 341 India have now achieved the highest ever successful chase in the history of women's ODIs. And in a year of firsts, India versus South Africa, you will have first time World Cup winners. A sublime, divine, magnificent 127 from Jemimah Rodrigues, 89 of 88 from Harmanpreet Kaur, Richa Ghosh's 26 of 16 and Deepti Sharma's 24 of 17. And now Vizag was a nightmare which ended. Now India have repeated the 2017 heroics. Australia absolutely stunned. D.Y. Patil has erupted in tears of joy because the Indian women's team have achieved something mind-blowing, historic, fantastic, outstanding.
It's days like this, you're reminded of the joys, not necessarily of our profession, but of being a fan. As professionals, none of us had predicted this happening. We all said, no, it's just too much. The odds are stacked against India. So Australia look like they're going to be winning this in dominant fashion. Then you start to believe. You're like, okay, Jemimah and Harmanpreet are doing well. Okay, now you see a wobble with Deepti there. Oh, Richa comes in, plays a quick cameo. You're still left on the edge and you have no hope and no choice but to keep believing. And thank God we kept believing, because my word, it just feels like you've actually flushed down a mental block that had been there over you, hovering over you for the past 8 years. You beat Australia in 2017. You've struggled against them in ICC tournaments since. You've broken the jinx. You're in the final. Wow. Amazing.
It is an amazing story. I mean, no one ever gave them a hope of 339. I mean, it's never been chased before. But in the year of firsts, these kind of things will happen. And today, luckily, you had calm, cool heads, and mental pressure was of the Australians in that sense. And that is why Jemimah's 127 or 134 at a strike rate of 95 in a chase of 339. This is where numbers will always hide the impact. Numbers will always hide the significance of it. But Australia, I had mentioned in the dugout, and people will say, oh, now I'm changing track. No, I'm not changing track. Let me tell you one thing. A streak, when you're to look at India and Australia histories, a streak has always ended. Australia's last loss came in the semifinal of 2017. You've now lost in 2025. And India were the team on both occasions. Okay, India ended Australia's 26-match winning streak in ODIs. And that is why you will see plenty of tears, because all those tears are to wipe out the hurts of 2022, the hurts of 2023, the hurt of 2024, and the hurt of Vizag. 4 cast iron hurts which you should have won. And now you have achieved your providence, you have achieved your history. And that is why this Indian cricket team now is on the cusp of something very, very special indeed. And kudos to them. They deserve all the plaudits that are coming their way. They deserve all the credit that will flow their way. And we believe on November 2, because now it is India versus South Africa, 2 teams in the final, both eyeing their first women's World Cup title.
A year of firsts. We kept saying 2025 is a year of firsts. First ICC tournament for South Africa in how many years? First IPL ever for RCB. You've had so many teams break trophy jinxes this year. Crystal Palace won their first ever trophy in existence, 120 plus years.
Tottenham Hotspur not first ever trophy, but there's one of many trophy streaks that broke. So it was a year where jinxes ended. It was a year where streaks were broken. It was a year where long waits came to an end. And now the long wait that the Women's World Cup has had of having a new champion finally comes to an end. We know women's cricket will win. Will Indian women's cricket or will South Africa women's cricket win? That remains to be seen, but that's still 3 days away. That's a debate for another time, really. Let's not focus on that. Let's first focus on this match. And my God, what a match it was. Ebbs and flows. Despite, and I mean, I'm saying this in the benefit of hindsight.
the partnership between Jemimah and Harmanpreet brought a lot of calm to proceedings because it just ensured that you got through the middle overs with consummate ease. But let's face it, Siddharth, at some point all of us were thinking, when is the shoe going to drop? When is that penny going to fall and you're going to say, oh, suddenly there's trouble? It took a while. You thought you were there, but then this time around, that one choke, the failure, the whatever you want to call it really, that was coming or that always is normally coming, didn't come.
It didn't come. And I think, see, the partnership of Jemimah and Harmanpreet was very important for one reason. See, India were batting a batter shot. Okay. But the way how they negotiated that entire period ensured that the run rate, the required rate, never went over 7.5. It was always constant. And what hurt Australia today was that their spinners didn't deliver. And that is why you could easily get through the runs. You could easily ensure that, okay, the partnership was worth, I think, let's just go down. How many what was the partnership runs? It was 167, if I'm not mistaken. That is the highest, by the way, in the history of knockouts for an Indian. So that is why for an Indian team, they have broken a lot of ground. So the partnership that they had was the ideal template. How many overs? Exactly 26 overs, 167. 26 sixes are, when you look at it, 156, just over 6. I think it's the template with which they ensured they didn't let the required rate go out of hand. And that is why I think they were in the ideal position to ensure that 226 for 3, even when Harmanpreet fell. Deepti stepped up and Richa's cameo. So they never ensured that was, and see, these are tears of joy with Jemimah Rodrigues because she's always been criticized for the way how it is that, okay, now let me take this occasion for 2 minutes and then just have a dig at the misogynists. The misogynists always said that these girls can only do reels. They're only reel queens. They can't win. The misogynists always stated that they are only fit for the kitchen. They shouldn't be playing cricket. The misogynists always stated that equal pay, why on earth then are they not performing? Even if you don't win November 2, I think you have done enough on October 30th, 2025 to show that, boss, your misogyny is stuck in a medieval era. This is 2025. Open up, wake up. The women's team have broken new ground today. If you thought 2017 was breaking of new ground, 2025 has broken even more ground. So that is why today there will be plenty of tears, today there will be plenty of emotion because you've gotten the better of the one team that has always and every single time hurt you. It's Australia. So kudos to Jemimah, kudos to Harmanpreet, kudos to Richa and Deepti, kudos to Sri Charani. I think she had the best economy rate amongst all in this entire match. So this win will shut a lot of the misogynists and will shut a lot of the trolls down. And I hope that from now on, you have newfound respect in some way. But I know that India is a country that is obsessed with only results. What if they don't win the final? Then you will say, oh, you won the hearts, but you choked. No. This performance should tell you that all your misdirected misogyny is in the 18th or the 17th century. This is 21st century, 2025. Let the tears flow. Let us cherish this moment because when the runs were scored at 22:39, we had known that we had stepped into something very special.
Absolutely. And I think, see, this is a big thing. And I normally don't like going around when you're looking at it. I'm someone who watches men's and women's sport. And I don't like seeing this as being breaking new ground. But the sad reality is that, unfortunately, through no fault of their own, these women have been subjected to a lot of vile taunts, jibes, trolling that, truth be told, are not in place or should not be in a modern civilized society. Unfortunately, it's something we still see too often, and I really hope that this helps break some barriers and helps shut down some of those, because truth be told, we should be telling our girls that, you know what, you should go out there and be wanting to achieve your dreams. You should be wanting to be part of the dugouts that are bringing glory to the nation. You should be wanting to be that person who's hitting the winning runs, and you can do it. I mean, if these girls are doing it, mind you, this is a very young Indian team. your vice captain in Smriti is someone who's now 26, 27. She's by no means what you'd classify as being old. She's in the prime of her career. Someone like a JEMI, I know she's been around a while, so people look at her as being some sort of a grizzled veteran. She's not. She's also like, what, 24, 25?
I think she's the same, 26, 27. if I'm not
Yeah, so
mistaken.
she's also someone who is very much in the prime of her career. Maybe at times I will agree that she's not quite stepped up where she should be, and she has not been performing at the level consistency wise.
She's
But
25.
25. See, I told you. I remember. You know why I remember, Siddharth? Because her breakthrough came right after 2017, the World Cup. She had a very good knock in a school game for Mumbai, and they fast tracked her. And the thing is that she was at that point around 18 type, 17, 18. So, her being 25 now makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, a lot of these people, even some of your heroes here, someone like a Richard, 22 years old, coming and delivering that kind of a knock under pressure, knowing full well you've only got an Amanjot Kaur thereafter. Amanjot coming in and getting those quick runs. Deepti Sharma with another crucial cameo proved that, listen, boss, these women aren't here to win hearts. They're here to win the title. Now, whether or not they can do that come November 2nd is a whole different matter, because again, knockouts are a very funny business, and one good knock going your way or going against you can more often than not be the difference. But I'll not question, if previously one thing I've questioned often is their ability to get over the mental block and kind of overcome. I've never questioned their ability to that extent. It's always been mentally where I've had the problem. Mentality wise, I think they've crossed a big hurdle.
I think the rock bottom that they hit was England. That was rock bottom for them, because mentally they choked so badly in Indore. They had no business in losing that game. But I think it was the culmination of all the things. Somewhere you have to hit rock bottom and then you have to get up. I think Indore was that rock bottom. And then on, you realized, okay, we have hit rock bottom. What do we do now? We then ensure that we move ahead. Let's not take pressure. It's not the end of the world. Even when you look at it, Harmanpreet didn't say much. Let's make one thing very clear after the loss. She was stunned. Smriti Mandhana was also stunned when she had that look into the abyss, and the press conference also, she was very emotional about it. But New Zealand, that was the start of something. You made 340 there. You then didn't, that game against Bangladesh was a washout. But here, you didn't let the pressure impact you. I think you realized, nothing can go as bad as England, which is why now you've delivered a clutch, and you didn't need anybody striking in excess of 200 or 250. They all did it in a very conventional knock. 167 or 159 on most days will get you a 315, 320 score, but here it gave you 341. And India chased it down against Australia, which is a testament to the fact that maybe today, when Australia's clutch bowlers had to deliver, they didn't deliver. Alana King didn't deliver. Sophie Molyneux didn't deliver. Ash Gardner went for runs. So that 14-run over, I think, which Ash Gardner gave, I think that turned the entire match around. And yes, there were some nervous moments when Richa Ghosh got out to Annabelle Sutherland. But apart from that, see, look at it. Nobody was amongst the runs at this point in time. So yes, 340 you breached today, and I don't know, if this is not new ground in women's cricket and in cricket and all, I don't know what is. But today, let's hail Jemimah Rodrigues. For far too long, she's borne the heartbreak of two matches, 2023 and 2022. Here, she batted like a player possessed, and boy oh boy, she found the gaps. Especially her offside play today was simply mind-blowing in more ways than one. So Jemimah and the calmness, and even then when she got the century, no over-the-top celebrations. She knew she had to guide the team over because she's been hurt in the past, burnt in the past.
What is Jemimah Rodrigues' squad number again?
I think we all know that.
Number 5, right?
Number 5.
Number 5. So a number 5 Indian batter in a crucial World Cup game in Mumbai, putting in a dive, batting through half the game with a big line of dirt on the jersey, and scoring a very gritty knock that eventually helped the team get home. Am I talking about Jemimah? Am I talking about Gautam Gambhir? 2011.
Gautam Gambhir, well, his 97.
He didn't take the team home. But without that knock, you were not getting home.
Yes.
He didn't take them over the line, but he brought them very close to the line.
Yeah. It was helped by another 91. And in this case, the captain in MS Dhoni's 91, Harmanpreet's 89 of 88 when you look at it. And I think Dhoni was at number 4.
Yeah.
He had promoted himself and
He promoted himself that one day.
Yeah. So if you look at it, the
Wait,
Indian
Gambhir was 3 that day, wasn't it?
he was 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
because your openers were Sachin and Viru.
Yeah. And Virat was 4, Dhoni was 5. I have to again check.
No, I think Gambhir came at 4.
4, yeah.
I think
Gambhir was 3.
When did Virat come then?
He came at 4. Virat came at 4.
Virat came at 4. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Gambhir came after Sehwag and Virat came after Sachin.
Sachin. And then when
Yes.
Sachin fell, then
Then it was
Virat
MS who.
fell, then Dhoni came. But today, see, that 167 run partnership will forever be remembered for the calmness factor. So calm. I mean, 7.5. You realize that we had 6 batters. We can't go gung-ho. So that is why, looking at it, 7.5, you didn't let the run rate go awry. And which is the reason why this is a template as to how you have to approach the pressure situations for India, starting from today itself. Yes, you've crossed one major Everestian hurdle. But now you've got the major goal post that is waiting for you on November 2 against South Africa. So that's why first time winners will be guaranteed today. And Australia, I mean, what do we say? They are mortal.
And I think we'd been noticing this, right? I remember, Siddharth, you and I kept talking about this because we've been covering this tournament. And we've said that this Australia team didn't have that same look of invincibility. Sure, they had the ability to get good results. And they had the ability to get those good results with their backs against the wall. I'm looking at that game against Pakistan as being a very key example. But, I mean, if you look back in time and if you look at how it is that this Australia team were, they never let themselves get to situations that they would be in against Pakistan. That in itself told you that, listen, there are chinks in the armor.
Yeah.
This team are not invincible to that point. Would that still mean that they would not have won the final if they had reached? I think if they reached the final, they would have been the overwhelming favourites, let's be fair. But we knew that they had an ability to be beaten. And again, another thing which I think we've not touched upon because we've been understandably waxing lyrical about how well India played. The truth of the matter is you had multiple let-offs.
Yeah.
Multiple let-offs. When is the last time you've seen an Australia team drop 3 catches in the same match? 3 catches. The Southern Stars. Really?
Although I would say that one catch running back.
None of them were tough, Siddharth. Not by the Aussie team standards.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Healy one. That was a dolly.
Yeah, that was a mist-stumping opportunity, which I'm like, that was shocking in more ways than one. And I think the other
Jemmy had a reprieve also, if I'm not
a catch was dropped at long on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
2 catches were dropped of
catches
Jimmy.
dropped.
Yeah,
Yes, 2
were
catches.
dropped. So I mean, pressure can do strange things. And I think because the wicket was so,
So there were 3 drop catches.
3.
One, of course, I'm not counting as one because it was, to be told, a very tough one. But that 24th over one, that was very tough.
That was tough.
But otherwise, see, Jemmy was dropped twice. Once by Talia Magra and once by
Elisa Healy. Healy dropped the catch, and that's
and by the way, Rodrigues actually had 3 reprieves because there was that one LB as well, which they kind of looked at.
It went over.
Yeah, and went over. At that point, I'm thinking, so she's actually had 4 lives in this match. There was an edge on that one in the 24th as well. It was very tough, sure.
Yeah.
Very, very tough. But, I mean, on a day if that sticks, then you're looking at a
exactly. I
very
mean,
different
Healy had an outstanding review of Mandana, but then after that, she was made to look mortal, and that's why I say you ride the luck. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. If your catch is dropped and if you score the winning runs, then you deserve all the luck that you get, and that's why whatever it is, if you ride your luck and guide the team home, there's nothing like it. If Jemimah had scored 127 but you had not won, then you would have kind of like, you took it too deep and you couldn't do it. And the pressure factor came yet again. But at this point in time, Australia dropped those catches and they were made to pay. Which is why you needed to play the perfect game today. And both didn't play the perfect game. But Australia's drops proved to be far more costly than India's when Alisa Healy was dropped by Harmanpreet. But that was not made to pay. So, in more ways than one, Australia today had an off day, and somewhere you have to have an off day. 8 years. 8 years, meaning how many? 6 of 48, 8, these are 3,000 days later. 3,000 days later, Australia have a bad day in the World Cup. And fittingly, it ended when India had beaten them in 2017. It's ended now with India beating them in the semi-final. So the semi-final is Australia's kryptonite in more ways than one. But then they have reached so many finals. They won 7 World Cup finals. And so the defending champion curse Only once in the history of the Women's World Cup you have had a defending champion. That is Australia, 82 and 88. But apart from that, you are going to have new champions at this point in time. But what a day today. I mean, we all thought the rain would drag us into the reserve day, but no, we are not getting it dragged into the reserve day.
I'm thankful for that. I think we're so happy that this match finished. This is a certified World Cup classic.
Yes.
This sort of innings whereby you've seen a record chase for the Indian team. You're seeing the tears flowing from the Indian team. You're
Correct.
seeing them actually banish so many ghosts of, World Cup past, if I have to use a terminology like that. If you're seeing all these things, I don't think it would have hit the same if there had to be a rain delay or if it had to be a match decided by DRS. Because truth be told, DLS, sorry.
Yeah.
Because let's be fair, once the match reached 20 overs in the second innings, you knew the reserve day was going to be immaterial. It wouldn't have come into play.
Yep.
It wouldn't have hit the same if we had to defeat them by DLS. It wouldn't
Exactly.
have hit the same if we had to beat them over a reserve day. I'm so glad the match finished today because it gave you the fitting closure. It gave you the joy of being able to beat them in a fair fight. No thing of saying, the rain came and then it went over to the next day. And so, let's be fair, momentum does change. In such matches, momentum can very easily change. We've seen that happen. I need not go too much further, but 2019, the World Cup semi-final.
Oh,
The fact that it went into a reserve day made all the difference in the world.
2-day internationals.
Yeah. So it made all the difference in the world because I don't think that was the kind of chase that India would have had a problem with if they not lost those early wickets.
Yep.
So momentum does swing. Same here. If the momentum had to go away, then for India, they're starting from zero again. And for the Aussie bowlers as well, it's a fresh chance to regroup and potentially just come back the next day a little more refreshed. Here, though, the pressure was such, and I think that's what eventually happened. A lot of those cracks which you saw come about started coming as the game kept progressing. As Australia knew that any moment could change the game, and that's exactly what happened. Those pressure moments, the pressure really, normally what happens, right? We will say it's a case of who blinks first. Unfortunately, they were the ones who blinked first, and India then said, okay, this might just be our day. Let's try our luck and see what happens. As it turns out, you've gone on to win a semi-final, a crucial match, a match which no one, let's face it, gave you chances for, myself included, and you've actually shifted that narrative.
A word on Harmanpreet. For far too long, people were saying that, she's living on that knock of 171 that happened 8 years ago. Today, she's had the ultimate redemption. I mean, she batted well against the spinners. She used the sweep far more. And whenever she found the loose ball, she pounced on 89 of 88 and took a great catch from Ash Gardner to send her back. Otherwise, even she was looking good for 100. So, a word on Harmanpreet Kaur. I think, is it the ultimate redemption for her now?
It will be, I think, if she can win the tournament. Because, I mean, we tend to forget this always, that 2017 World Cup, why it feels so heartbreaking is because that was a match that you had won. You were like 120 out for 2.
Yeah.
You still ended up losing by 4 runs, and it was a match that...
9 runs.
Yeah, 9 runs. And I still don't understand how. Because the way the situation was, you needed one partnership. Just one partnership. The fact that you didn't get that one partnership was like a gut punch, because that could have really been your 1983 moment. Sure, women's cricket still enjoyed a lot of popularity and a surge in it regardless. But if you had won the World Cup, it would have been a very different story.
Yeah.
Very, very different story. And I think now what this team will be looking at, to quote a certain very popular WWE superstar, you have to finish the story.
Yes,
And
Cody
the
Rhodes.
only way you will finish this story is if you win the World Cup. Yes, beating Australia is massive. Let's make no bones about it. They are the standard bearers, the standard setters when it comes to the women's side of the game. Undoubtedly so. They have been for years. But you're only completing the story. You're only finishing the story when you win that World Cup. So you have to win the World Cup now.
Of course. I mean, you missed a golden chance in 2017. Now it's a chance for you to correct that mistake 8 years ago. And 2025, it's a year of firsts in more ways than one. So yeah, Harmanpreet, I think she needed this knock far more because she was also struggling big time heading into this competition. She did have some good knocks, but actually she didn't set the stage on fire. So now leading from the front with an 89 of 88 and JEMI carrying on to make a big 100, 127 or 134, has ensured that India have achieved history. About 3 weeks ago, India were at the receiving end of a 331. At that time, it was the Alyssa Healy masterclass. But today, Alyssa Healy and the Australian team are just stunned. I think it's going to take them some time, and you will see some changes. I think this was the last World Cup for Alyssa Healy. I think it'll be bye-bye for her. I think she's not going to come back in 2029, and let's make it very clear. It'll be a last World Cup for Elise Perry. So you're seeing 2 or 3 major stars bowing out. I think it's the last World Cup even for Megan Schutt. I think she's not coming
That's
back.
the thing. And I think for Australia, this could have been a very good chance for them to kind of end this era on a high. Imagine if they had actually won this World Cup and then have a lot of these people phase out. That phase out was going to come. That's just the nature of sport. You know, time and tide waits for no man or woman in this case. But now they're going to have to approach that rebuild with keeping in mind that no, that short glory is now gone. There's no chance of that happening. But you know full well that you were waiting for this tournament to get over, and then and only then were you going to start making those changes. So you're going to have to start making those changes. You're going to have to start bringing in fresher talent. They've started doing that to an extent. The fact that you have someone like a Phoebe Litchfield who's been part of the squad for a couple of years in itself tells you that, you know, they are looking at the future. It's not just a case of them using these players who have been part of the core side for a number of years. But yeah, I think it's very much the end of an era, and it's very fitting in some ways. Reminds me a little bit, I dare say, of 2011. When India knocked Australia out of that quarterfinal. It did feel like it was the closing of a chapter of sorts, because again, that was an Aussie side, many of whom had been part of so many World Cup wins. 2007, 2003, of course, they had completed a hat-trick because they'd won it in 99 as well. It felt like the end of an era, and I think this feels similar. Sure, Australia have also gone on to win 2 World Cups after that. They won one in 2015, and they won one, lest we forget, in 2023. But it's not been the same kind of sustained dominance.
Yeah.
Whether or not you'll see this kind of a run, I think this was a generational run from the Southern Stars. Can it happen again? I'm not so sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 18, you won in 20, you won in 22, you won in 23, you won 4 straight ICC events. And that is where I think, see, the legacy of the Southern Stars is next level. I mean, no one can even come close. They are the greatest ever sporting entity that this sport has had. They're the greatest entity. Let's make no mistake about it. Hailing from Australia, greatness. Where have we heard that before? So, yes, it is a generational change now that Australia will have to encounter. Who are the others? There are lots waiting in the wings. And yeah, one hopes that they can really, really go for it. And yep, Jemimah, indeed, it was truly a remarkable moment. I mean, I want to thank my mom, my dad, my coach, and every single person who believed me throughout this time. It was really hard these last 4 months, but it just feels like a dream and it's not sunk in yet. Firstly, yes, her mom, her dad, her brother, they all come. Whenever she plays in India, they come for her matches. And yeah, she hails. I mean, I can just proudly say that a fellow Bhandup guy. I went to school in Bhandup. She stays in Bhandup West. I stayed in Bhandup East in the school. So, a proud Bhandup guy is telling one Bhandup girl, well done, Jemmy. Well done indeed at this point in time. So, I mean, see, if you have to look at certain soft moments when you have to look at how her career has been, it is a wonderful feeling indeed for Jemimah at this point in time. So, yes, it is a fitting to it. Now, we'll see what certain people will have to say. But 2 things. Now I hope the popularity of women's cricket is sustained in India. And second, hashtag end the misogyny. Simple.
Final. This will be.
Hope so. After the final, irrespective of the result. I mean, see, India win, then definitely, hands down, you're going to ensure that this sport is now very popular and women's cricket gets a massive surge. But even if you lose, don't let women's cricket just stagnate like what you had pre-2017. Let's not do that, because see, the greatness of a nation only comes through if your women athletes are respected. The country where women athletes do well, that country will always progress. And in India, because of our myopic attitude that we have had towards women, and in particular when you look at it, I mean, the priorities, what happened in the aftermath of the Indore harassment case. It had to happen. So that's why if you start respecting women athletes and ensure that you're there with them through thick and thin every single point in time, then that country will progress automatically.
It's basically a work in progress at this point. I thought we had seen some progress in that regard. Sadly, I think a lot of it gets undone at times, and I really hope, as Siddharth says, that you do see a lot of shifts in that mentality. That a big shift is there in that particular mentality, and I really hope that this has a knock-on effect of sorts. That you see, if you can see women's cricket grow, then that has a knock-on effect in the sense that you will see women's sport also begin to flourish, because it is, it says a lot. And you're talking about our women being superheroes and everything. I'll give you another example. The Indian men's football team couldn't qualify for the AFC Asian Cup this year, right? But the women's team did it both at under 23 as well as senior level. So that's something that deserves a salute. And again, if you know how bad the situation is when it comes to football in this sport, the fact that the women's team could even qualify in the first place, it's a massive achievement. And I do see that. I do see this knock-on effect of sorts coming through, whereby you'll see more and more girls willing to take up sport as a career, and I think that's great. I think that's something you need to be encouraging a lot more. Of course, I also know how it is the Indian mentality works. Nothing speaks quite like success. The sport of cricket in itself exploded in popularity after 83, and that was your seismic moment, the moment whereby you made that change. You sort of saw the popularity of the sport take over, and then that's it. There was no turning back. I really hope we see that moment November 2. But even if we don't, I really hope that we see, as Siddharth rightly points out, sustained support. Because truth be told, as these are athletes who are representing your nation, they deserve your support no matter what.
No matter what. I mean, you play a sport, women and men, equal pay, so what? So what? If you do a particular skill, if you get equal pay, then you shouldn't be judged. It's as simple as that. So, see, we are not saying as if, it's as if you won the World Cup final. No, you've just beaten Australia. And the Southern Stars, as I've said, 13 ICC titles between them. 6 T20 World Cups and 7 World Cups, ODI World Cups. If you beat them, you are the gold standard. So, definitely, I would just want to say that tougher tests will await you. You have to now face South Africa, who also are on a journey to redemption after being bundled out for 69 by England. Who would have thought that this will be our two finalists? And frankly, two not so perfect teams clashing in the final is a good recipe for a thriller, because India lost 3 to the Sena countries, 3 out of 4 games. South Africa have lost very badly to England and Australia, 97 all out, but they bounced back in the semi-final. Now it sets up for a wonderful November 2 when you look at it, and I'm just going to check the weather, because whenever it comes to Navi Mumbai, the weather, I just by default I go about it at this point. So yeah, let's see. Okay. Yes,
the final, as
final will be in Navi Mumbai.
Is in exactly the same city. So
and 63% chances are there on November 2. This is unprecedented. I've never seen this much rain in this part, but okay, it'll be similar to what it was today.
What hopes?
You had rain in the morning, that's it. You're not going to get rain after.
And you had just a little bit in between the match. And
20 minutes.
20 minutes to the point which didn't even actually end up impacting your scenarios in any way.
Exactly.
You played out a full 50 overs in the first innings, and the second innings also was set to go the distance. So if it's that sort of a rain, you'll take it.
Exactly. You will take that. And that's why cheer in the moment, my friends. It's a historic moment indeed for women's cricket in general, because 3 records have been broken. 167 run stand, which is the highest for India in a knockout game. Second, 341, the highest ever chase in the history of women's cricket, beating the 331 that was made in the same World Cup about 3 weeks ago. And the other record, JEMI and Harmanpreet, Australia's 3,000 plus winning streak. It started with India, it's now ended with India. So yes, you're going to get new champions in 2025, and it'll be South Africa or India that we'll have to check. So let's have a look at some of the comments. We'll wait for Nikhil also to join once he's done with...
Yeah, and for those of you wondering where Nikhil is, well, he's currently live on India Today TV, our sister channel. In fact, technically our parent channel, if you're going by that. So he's live. He's live with Mr. Sunil Gavaskar. And of course, you can watch all of those things as well later on Sports Today. So for now, whilst we await his company, we'll take a few of your comments and see how exactly it is that you're feeling. You've got Pavan Holla, who said that I'd called it in the mid innings that either Jemimah or Shefali need to play a freak innings. Jemimah played the innings of a lifetime, that too on a big semis versus the Aussies. Just one final push on Sunday.
Indeed, just one final push is needed, and yeah, it had to be either Mandana, Jemimah, or Shefali to take the team over. And if you look at it, it was Jemimah who stepped up. Smriti, unfortunately, but freak review by Alyssa Healy. I mean, it was just jaw-dropping the way how she did it. So yeah, Harman stepped up. So that's why you had 2 out of the 4 stepping up in a big way. And Naveen Narayan, Jemimah reminded me of Virat's typical knock.
Pacing the innings, pacing the chase. In fact, Naveen also before that says that
what is the jersey number, by the way?
Jimmy, 5.
5. Okay.
Naveen Narayan says that absolutely surreal, magical innings from Jemimah and Harman. Take a bow, Queens. Revenge taken of Ahmedabad. No, I'd say it's more like revenge taken of the 4 finals you lost.
Yeah.
Or the 4 ICC tournaments you lost.
This is the problem. I mean, see, that was a different context altogether. Let's
Yeah.
not compare men's cricket and women's cricket. In men's cricket, you are expected to be the superpower when you're not the superpower. Let's be very honest
the
about
only
it.
way you will ever take revenge for Ahmedabad is if you beat Australia in a final in front of a packed MCG. That's the only day you're taking revenge.
That is
simple.
This isn't revenge. People who are like talking about the fact that you took revenge for them in St. Lucia. No, that wasn't revenge.
That wasn't revenge.
The definition of revenge is very different in more ways than one. So that's the thing. Naveen Narayan again is again
we
go
took
down.
that.
We took that. Yeah. Vishal Panchal. Such games light up your day even if you're having a bad one. Hats off to Jemimah Rodrigues for a brilliant performance. One more to go. Final awaits. Yeah. Hats off to Jemmy. It's been a fantastic knock for her, and that is why it's a fantastic situation for her. Ashish Dhar is saying, Jemimah number 3 batter can be next chase master. Let's see. She's just had one major final and one major semi-final. Now there's lots more to go. Let's see. You need to have a corpus of say 8-10 games. Virat did it for 50-60 games, and that's why he's the chase master.
But you know what I also will say is that it does seem like Jenny has the ability to build an innings from that position. Number 3, we know is the kind of position that can win or lose you games in white ball, particularly ODI cricket. And she's normally batted, I think, like 5 types usually. But I mean, very good knock from a position that she's unfamiliar with, but one that I think team management needs to try her out in.
Yeah. I love Mutton Biryani saying, I said it yesterday, India was a South Africa final. What a match. This is unbelievable. Those middle over wickets helped. Perry played slow for some reason. Jemimah, you beauty.
I don't think Perry was playing slow. I think you didn't need 2 people going gung-ho. She was more often than not anchoring, whilst the likes of
Litchfield.
Yeah, there was Litchfield, there was Gardner, who were actually going all guns blazing. So she didn't need to. I don't think her innings had anything to do with it. If anything, I'll hold the Oz bowlers more accountable.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, none had a strike rate of 190, 200 in this entire match. None. Which is why I think, this was a very typical wicket where the outfield was so fast, where the pitch was so flat that you just couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, she's the best run chase and knockout of men or women ICC World Cup.
That's taking things very far.
Nah, she's there.
That's a whole different debate for a whole other time.
Yeah.
For me, I think if you're talking about breaking free of shackles, then 2011 Australia again comes to mind, because at that point you were scarred by Australia.
Yeah.
You were really scarred. So actually winning that match instilled in you the belief, despite you being one of the favourites, despite you playing at home, that match really instilled in you the belief that, boss, this World Cup we can actually win.
Yeah.
Cyril Griller.
This was the actual final for India?
No, the actual finals on November 2nd.
November 2. I mean, you can all go for the semantics and say, yes, it's a final before a final, but no, it's November 2. If you don't win, then you had a similar kind of a thing in 2017. Let's not fall for that trap all over again.
Oh God, yeah. I remember 2017 because, fun fact, guys, for all of you who are wondering, 2017 was actually my first year as a journalist.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking at that point that, you're going to see like this explosion of women's sport. And I think, truth be told, that 2017 knock did make you believe from Harman. Unfortunately, you didn't win the tournament then, but I think you need to win the tournament.
Fast and Curious is like saying Gaba Rishabh versus Oz, MCG Kohli versus Pak, Wankhede Maxwell versus Afghanistan, and DY Patil Jemmy versus. These innings make you believe that anything is possible in sport. But actually, when you look at it, it was helped by a lot of other factors. I'll give you the Rishabh Pant factor. Are we all forgetting Shubman Gill's knock of 91? That laid the platform for you to go. MCG Kohli, I agree. It was a single solo effort that was there. Maxwell, single solo effort.
That was inhuman.
But I think 12 of 68 by Pat Cummins, the most underrated one. And D.Y. Patil, JEMI, although I would say Harmanpreet also played her role in that as well. And serial griller is like, where are the misogynists who commented right and said, why equal pay, don't fund the when men get more criticism, hiding now? They will hide now.
Serial griller, I hope they stay hidden within the woodwork.
I know. I mean, see, many people in India will have a knee problem for one simple reason. They have knee-jerk reactions. Simple. So that is the reason why I just want to say, please, boss, hold your horses whenever you have these kind of things. Because, yes, we ourselves will admit, no one has chased on 339. We don't know when is it going to be that, today is the day. We never thought about it, but then it happens. So before you throw stones at us, look where you are. You are also in glass houses. So let's see if there are any more comments at this point. Shivam, please.
Switch to the other side, yes.
Yes, that's going to be there. And okay. He said, you study abacus in school? No, I didn't study abacus in school. For me, maths was terrible. It was absolutely terrible at this point. So, S3G vlogs, correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen men team chase like this in knockouts in terms of runs. No disrespect, but want praises to be as loud as men get.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If you're talking about the sheer volume of runs, I know these were batter-friendly conditions, but I don't remember a chase of 2023. You had chases, but none of them were in the over 300 kind of mark. More often than not, your bowlers were kind of doing the job for you.
Correct.
So you weren't really chasing even 23, which was that kind of a year whereby you were actually everything you touched on to goal bar the final. You didn't have one.
When was the last time we chased 300 plus in a knockout?
I mean, actually, Google.
I think we have never chased 300 in a knockout. We have set targets of 300 plus, 350 plus, but we never chased them down as such. I remember 1996, no, we didn't. 1999, no, we didn't. 2003, no, we didn't. You set targets. 2007, no, you didn't. And 300 plus targets chased down women's ODIs. Yeah, that is true. 339, 331. But we are talking about this is the first time a 300 plus total gunned down in an ODI World Cup knockout. Oh, so it's the first time ever. Awesome. The previous IS had come.
Yes, it is the first.
Of course, that Auckland DLS. Who can forget? That was bloody, I would say, very unfair. 272 and you had to chase down 298. Are you kidding me? So yes, this is the first time ever.
Also, if you go by some queries that I'm doing, India have never chased down 300 plus in the men's ODI World Cup.
Never.
Never. You've had other teams do it. Pakistan have done it in the legs, but no.
Never. This is the first time 300 plus has ever been chased.
Yeah.
Ever. So that is the worst situation. So that is why MCG will be packed with Indians only. Well, where they'll never be packed. So Troy Gizmos like saying all misogynists make disgusting comments as a coping mechanism for their own failures. Indeed, but then see, India is filled with that Troy Gizmo, and that's why see the voice will only die down if you win November 2. And that is also not a guarantee, by the way.
Yeah. I like what Aditya Kavlikar is saying, gem of an innings.
It was a gem of an innings. Of course, gem of an innings indeed from JEMI in more ways than one. And Kishore is saying, India brought their A game today. I feel this is the best 11 and they've got the combinations right. I don't know about that.
Well, I think you have to stick with this now, right? You can't change. You're not going to change it now for the final. If you do, then I don't know, man. I really don't know. Yeah. I do not actually want them to be doing that.
Yeah. But Shri, I did answer. I didn't study abacus in school. Please, I didn't study it. I was bad in maths. I was bad in everything. So that's why I didn't study. And, okay. S3G vlogs, expecting sponsorship deals to triple tonight for women's team. That is a wall.
I think after November 2. Yeah, exactly. They'll triple after November 2, assuming you end up getting.
Could now got 24 of 24. So in that sense. Desmond Haynes, India should play Harleen Deol for Shefali Verma, who is hit and miss, weekends further, already light batting with no batting after 7. Now I don't think you're changing the combination. Yeah, come on. You're not changing it anymore. And so we are joined by Nikhil after all the emotional roller coaster that...
First things first, I don't know if you guys have heard that. I don't know how many of our viewers have heard that. But when I heard Jemimah speak after the win in her post-match, did you guys hear that?
We read it, we couldn't hear it.
I also almost choked. Yeah, she was choking while talking. She spoke about how tough it has been, and then I was suddenly reminded of the fact that I think she started with 2 ducks, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
she fell for a first ball duck, then she was dropped.
And then again got a duck.
Yeah,
or
and then
got
she
4.
came back. Yeah.
Something like that, to that extent. I
Yes,
remember it
yes.
was she had a start to forget for this tournament.
Correct.
She
Got
was
dropped in the game, yeah.
dropped in a couple of games. From there she's come, and then she actually spoke about overall, that she was not part of the last World Cup, and
Correct.
she went through a tough time. Remember, there were a few controversies that happened on the sidelines as well. And she said, I didn't have a great time mentally as well. She was very low, and to have come back. So, I mean, I can't think of anyone, if you're made up of flesh and bones, that you wouldn't have, felt emotional listening to her. So that was incredible. But what a knock.
Yeah.
I must also say, I had that how downcast were we in the mid-show, all of us. And nobody gave this team a chance. At best 10, we had given 20, Siddharth had given, but that, as I said, overall, we didn't give them a chance once. Australia had gotten 339. I mean, a lot of people might have a go at us, but I think there were valid reasons why we didn't do that. And I think exactly why this win is so special. If it was a 50-50 game or it was a 60-40 game, this win wouldn't have meant even half of what we're feeling now. To come back from that situation where nobody was giving them a chance, including us, to have carried out this win, it's incredible. And I often say that if we did not give them that much of a chance, I think that makes you even more happier when you're proven wrong. Because at the end of the day, you're downcast and you're not really bullish about a team winning. It's not that you don't want them to win. You know that, they can't. I want them to, but I can't. And when they do it, then I don't think anyone is more happy than people who didn't give them a chance. The ones that hope for it is great, but the ones that gave them no chance and then they do it, it's absolutely incredible. I do remember, I want to point out, GGK was the one who pointed out, and I said, we'll give you a shout out, GGK, if it does happen. And he said, why are you guys worried? Don't worry, they'll chase it. I think something to that extent he had said. So GGK, a big shout out to you. You were far more confident than we were. And as I said, we were not confident because it was a chase, it was Australia, it was the pressure of a semi-final, it was what India did versus England in that game, all things put together. We didn't give them a chance. But what I'd like to know from you, is it, how are you going to remember this day?
I think
If you had to, one sentence, one line, how would you
you've
remember?
broken new ground. The nightmare is over. There is light that has emerged from the tunnel after so many years. I'll remember that because, see, you had a excess baggage of 4 losses in situations when you should have won against Australia. And each loss deflated you further and further and further. 2020, you were walloped and KO'd in front of 86,000. 2022, 41 of 35 and you lose by 5 runs. 2023, your bat gets stuck in the ground and you lose by 5 runs. 2024, you again choke and you don't win. 3 weeks back, the tables were turned. We couldn't defend 331. Here, you chase 341 with more balls to spare than Australia had in that. If this is not called breaking new ground, I don't know then what is.
Breaking new ground.
You've ended a dynasty. With this, I think you finally ended that 7-8, nearly decade-long dynasty that Australian women's cricket has had. And I do think there's going to be a time of transition. And when you look back, maybe Australia can rediscover that in due course. Maybe they don't. But you're always going to look back at this and saying that right there was the end point.
For me, 2 things that come to my mind. Firstly, this is without doubt the greatest run chase ever in women's cricket, period. No debate, there's nothing that even comes close. And I'm not saying it because it's a record run chase. Sometimes records are broken, but I still don't count them as the greatest. Just because the total is high and you chase it down doesn't. For example, Australia, chasing India's 330, I wouldn't count as one of the greatest. Let's say even if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have counted it as the greatest run chase. For me, this is the greatest run chase ever in women's cricket history, is primarily because of a few other reasons. First, one is of course the total, because it was a record-breaking total. Two, the opposition, almost invincible, unheard of, lost the last World Cup match 8 years ago.
3,000 days back.
So the opposition. And third is the occasion. It is a semi-final of a World Cup, the occasion. And fourth is the fact that the team that did it was notorious for not being able to chase things down. It's that team that's done it. Had Australia done it, you and I wouldn't have even batted an eyelid, because that's a team that can do it. These four reasons put together, for me, the greatest run chase ever in women's cricket. And I don't know what's going to happen in the final. We are going to be doing that coverage. We'll analyze it. Don't know if India go in the favourite or South Africa. We'll discuss that later. But what I can tell you, this particular game is the coming of age of Indian women's cricket. For far too long, they have sometimes flattered to deceive. There have been other issues. But I think this is the coming of age. I think you have really arrived at that level. I don't think you'll ever now be looked at with any sort of doubts, or there'll be any finger pointing. Yes, they will go ahead and win matches, lose matches, win titles, not win titles. But I think that monkey is off their back in terms of, that them not being able to do it. So for me, it's a memorable day in Indian cricket. The other thought that I had, what do you think was the turning point of the game? Come on, pick one.
There are actually two.
Okay, pick your two.
JEMI getting dropped by Alyssa Healy.
She got dropped twice.
And of course, one was a very difficult, but she got 3 reprieves. I think the one that Alyssa Healy dropped, I think then you set up on the fact that, okay, something special could happen. And when, I think it was Talia God's plan. And when Talia McGrath dropped another catch, she added another 30 runs more. If Talia McGrath had taken that catch, that's it, game over. That for me was a turning point. Those 2 drop chances of Alyssa Healy and Talia McGrath of Jemimah Rodrigues.
Obviously the drop catches. I'll also give a shout out to Richa Ghosh. Those runs lower down, you didn't have her coming and taking the pressure off. All that anchoring which Jemmy did, which is great, would probably come to nothing.
But
you
Deepti as well that way.
Yes, Deepti as well. I think the lower order contributions from Deepti and Richa really set you up nicely, because at that point, when Harman was dismissed, the match was still kind of in the balance. At that point, let's face it, all of us were worried that you lose another wicket here, and suddenly now things are very shaky.
No, it was going to be exactly like that England game where you were cruising and Smriti Mandhana got out and bang, done. You could have repeated that after Harman's wicket, but then Deepti and Richa chipped in.
It could have been you cruise, you lose, but instead it was, well, you won, thankfully.
Okay, you've picked 2 turning points, so, of course, both the turning points are pretty valid, but, to give you multiple options. I'll go to the time that India was bowling. I think 220 Australia sitting pretty with just 2 down. I think that 40-run period where they lose 4 wickets, 4 wickets for 40 or 45 odd runs that they lose. I think that is where the game, I think Sri Charni picked up 2 wickets, Radha picked up 1, and there was 1 run out.
Yeah.
Incredible. Jemimah, I think, contributed to that.
Yes, I think it was Ash Gardner who got run out.
Yeah, so those 4 wickets basically.
Yeah. No, not Ash Gardner.
4 wickets in that middle phase between the 36th to the 40th over. That was the difference in Australia finishing at 339 versus Australia finishing at maybe 369. And that would have been game, set and match once it would have done. India chased it down. So I think, because what happens is usually whatever is the second bit of the game that helps you win is the aspect of the match that garners all the headlines. But we tend to forget what happened in the first inning. But I guess if those wickets hadn't come, they clearly wouldn't have been all out. They would have utilized all their overs and would have finished at 3-6. I mean, actually, to come to think of it, I'm saying, what a great payback, huh? You lost to Australia and they chased a world record total a week, 10 days ago, and you've paid them back. You didn't have to wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. In a week's time, in the same tournament, you have gone on to get the world record chase, and in the similar fashion where you were going to get 350 but you were curtailed to 330, and they were going to get to 360 plus, you curtailed them to 339 in exactly the same fashion, and you have also won with plenty of balls to spare, just as Australia did. So everything that you could, it's not just a win, it's payback
With interest.
in such a short span. That's the other thing that
It is. And that's why I see life is a full circle. The wheel of karma is indeed a full circle. So that's why it's fitting that it happened on October 30th. And in the same October, you've seen 2 world record chases from Vizag to Mumbai. So that's why it's a very, very big situation. And that's why, as I said, groundbreaking day. And this should ensure that the trolls, the misogynists are all got no place to hide now.
Final question before we take a few more questions. Many was of this opinion, win this, you won the World Cup. Agree, disagree, and if agree or disagree, why?
Disagree. You don't win the World Cup by beating Australia. 2017 taught you that. Win the final, win the World Cup. I know it's very cliche, but I don't think beating Australia is that. It's big, sure. Monkey off your back. But you really want that breakthrough moment? Win the World Cup. Win the final.
Yeah, it's history is evident. I mean, just because you beat Australia in 2011 and you won the World Cup, and you beat them in 1983 doesn't mean that you will win World Cups if you beat Australia. As Shane pointed out, 2017. If I even have to look at the men's team, 2019, you beat them, you didn't win the World Cup. 2023, you beat them in the league stage, but then you didn't win the final. You look at any other tournament, 1987, you won one league game, but then you didn't win. So, win the final on November 2, and rightfully then your popularity, the surge, everything will increase at this stage. So, yes, I disagree with the fact that if you beat Australia, you won the World Cup. No.
Absolutely.
Win on November 2.
I'll make that, because I'll tell you why. I make it 3 out of 3 because look at South Africa as well. Versus England, 69 all out. Same opposition.
Yeah.
Turned it around in the same tournament, just as India have versus same op. So just as, because the one way of looking at it is that, not the fact that India have beaten Australia, but this momentum will give them an edge and going forward. But it's ditto same for South Africa as well. From 69 all out versus
And
England.
Woolwart hits 169.
Exactly. To have come back the way that they have. Incredible. So I agree. I think, it's time for the team to celebrate, feel happy, ecstatic, do whatever. But the job's not done. You have a equally good team in the final. Okay. Not maybe Australia, but good enough. So it's not done as yet.
Exactly.
Let's take this question. Mr. Hellacious.
Okay.
He wants to know, do you think Australia messed it up at the toss? I think it's a fantastic question. And I'll tell you why. Because when the toss happened, just before the toss, the commentators were chatting. And I think, without naming anyone, one commentator was asked, what should India do? And he said, or rather she said that, no, they should bat first because big game, no pressure, just bat first. And I'm thinking to myself, listen, one, there'll be dew, you'd want to chase, ball gets really wet. Two, if there is a bit of weather about, batting second is advantages because you keep getting to know how a total is changing. If you're batting first, you just bat one way and then suddenly rain, those overs are wasted, as it happened some time ago when we were debating in that ODI. So I was like, for all counts, you should be chasing. And guess what? Toss happens, Australia decide to bat first. India also say they would have batted first. I was a bit surprised, but...
I mean, who would have thought that 339 could be chased?
But I reverse, because we were talking. Let's say India got 339 and Australia they would also fancy themselves to chase it down.
But I thought it was a typical Australian move. Bat first.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's a typical Australian mentality.
It is. But I mean, if you're looking at how the final went in the second innings, there were a fair few balls that slipped. There were one too many slow balls that didn't meet their target, and it's not just down to a lack of control. There was a full toss snowball, I remember.
It was
Megan Shoot. So there were times where it looked like the bowlers were struggling for grip. And it's not a coincidence, I think, that the spinners struggled, particularly the finger spinners.
I think that's fair. But then, even 339 by normal standards, I think they could have defended, but then they had a very off day.
This is basic like that. No, 434, 438.
Yeah.
Lads, I think they're about 15-20 runs short.
Exactly.
Because I mean, I am not comparing Mumbai to Delhi, but I was out yesterday and there was a cricket match on late at night at 11. I was going past it, so I stopped to watch it, and I touched the
was
outfield. It was wet, and then I saw the ball. It was like, soaked in soap water sort of a feel that you were getting. So I'm guessing this time of the year,
humidity will be high in Mumbai. So and you wouldn't have an outfield. You had a billiards table. A billiards table with dew. The ball will race around. It had to happen. So yes, I think, this was a typical mentality. Australia bat first, bat big, and ensure that the bowlers do it, but they didn't do it. That's why.
Indian supporter says, I'm so sorry to the team, cannot stop the tears. I feel guilty of criticizing them throughout the tournament. I am not a wild creature, but they made us cry in 2023. We made the Aussies cry today.
Again, he's mixing up.
I wouldn't, but I firstly, I don't think Indian supporter, you should be harsh on yourself. That's fine. You don't have to apologize. A lot of us didn't give the team a chance, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, your name is Indian supporter, so we know that your heart is at the right place. You're backing the team, and the fact that you're feeling nice now is good enough. So don't have to feel bad about it or whatever. But I mean, again, I agree that the mixing format is not the same, the men's. But I'm saying you can't take that away from a fan. If a fan feels good, if this gives him any sort of relief of the pain that he felt on 19th, then you can't take that away from him.
Unfortunately, the final is in November. That's the thing. November is a season of heartbreaks for the Indian cricket fan ever since that particular date of November 19th happened. So, anything can happen. So, justice is served, and 2017, what started, it's ended on 2025.
There's so many questions I was going to take, but he's removed them. No, I'm not going to take that question, please. So many other questions. Okay. There's Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan saying, my game-changing moment was the Perry wicket. She was planning to do a Ponting of 2003. Anything like 370-80 would have been impossible. In praising JEMI, don't forget Sri Charni. But Dev, we mentioned that.
We mentioned Sri Charni at the very beginning.
As my game-changing
She had the best economy amongst the whole team, amongst all sorts of bowlers. 4.9.
Yeah. Sachin Kashyap says, JEMI knocks remind me of SRT knock 2011 versus Pakistan.
Are you kidding me? No way.
No. That was a very patchy knock.
No, with all due respect to Sachin, this is a way better knock.
Yeah,
that 2011.
And you know
I think
big
the common thing
Sachin
is three dropped catches plus one LBW, but there the Hawkeye went alright. Here the Hawkeye didn't go alright.
Yeah.
To quote what Sidhu would often say, Hawkeye is cockeyed, my friend. In this case,
exactly.
That was what was.
I think that is the only reason why he's comparing it to Mohali 2011.
Kishore S says India have finished the game with an over to spare. This was the weak link in the league matches that they have rectified now, and I was loving the JEMI scoop shots. I think there was smart shots.
Smart shots.
Yeah, and I was under my breath. I was going, what is happening here? No, please don't play a shot like that. But
so I was in the makeup room, and there were people there, and one of the makeup artists, he was like, "Sir, ये मजा आ रहा है." I used to always wonder, हमारे players क्यों नहीं मारते इस तरह के shot in crunch moment. I'm loving it that she's hitting.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
You'll be nervous because the situation was such. No matter what shot you play, anytime they were trying to be aggressive, you do feel nervous. I agree.
Yeah. Rakesh Bhushan, your colleague Rahul Rawat was in full tears. I cried watching the chase. Wow. It's an emotional win. Jemimah was put to test. She was out of the World Cup. She had to prove a point, and she did it with perfection.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Pawan Holla, final is happening on 2nd November in Navi Mumbai. We all know what happened on 2nd April 2011 in Mumbai. Also, Mumbai has been a lucky ground for India. Indeed, it has been.
Yeah, let's look for all the good omens now.
Though it's a different ground.
But still within Mumbai.
City. No, this is not Mumbai. This is
Navi
Technically,
Mumbai.
Navi Mumbai.
I know it is. Navi Mumbai. Sahana M is saying, I knew India will win today when I saw your mid-match prediction 0-3, knowing your IPL prediction. If you guys really want India to win, please predict a win in final.
Sahana, for you, we will do that. Please.
But you guys all predicted a Punjab Kings win in the...
No.
I don't know. Maybe she's talking about 2022 IPL or 2023 IPL, 2024 IPL.
No, 2024 IPL, I remember everyone picked KKR. That was a very one-sided final.
Yeah.
Must have been. I can't remember. There's so many different games that we do.
I know.
But whatever
Too
makes
many
Sahana
games.
happy.
Yeah, let's
How
see.
does it matter?
Yeah. We are not like that certain influencer who backs something and it turns out to be different.
Praneeth Datta. Wow, what an innings by Jemimah. It's the first time Indian men or women have chased 300 plus against Australia in a World Cup knockout match.
It's the first 300 plus ever in the history of World
Yeah, the
Cup
men
knockouts.
haven't chased 300.
Men have never chased. In the history of knockouts, 298 was the previous highest. In that DLS farce that was there between New Zealand and South Africa. 272, they had to chase 298 and 42. Yeah. What a farce that was.
Rain and cricket is like an eternal hate story.
Yeah. At this time, it benefited South Africa.
Imagine.
Yet they couldn't win.
Okay. Yes, Shivam, have you got something for us? Or?
I'm sure there's plenty more, right? Oh, he's also got other things for us, yeah.
Oh, he's got Shivam Giri.
Yes, he's got the Shivam
So
Giri.
let's go to Shivam Giri. Come on, let's go. We have got Shivam Giri.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us start.
And we're waiting. This picture goes hard.
Yeah. When
It absolutely does.
she realized that, yes, the required rate was below 6 for the first time. Yes. At that time, there was this
I
fist
thought
bump.
I saw this, but I thought she was like egging herself on. She was praying, and it was that sort of a moment.
Yeah.
Thank God it didn't go like another recent viral video where I saw of an athlete egging himself on. I don't know if you're getting. There was this video of Ronaldo which went viral. He's egging himself.
And he missed it.
He didn't miss it. He hit it with the wall. That was bad. He's egging himself on. He's talking
can
to
score,
himself.
I can
score.
He's
World
I will
Cup
score.
match?
No. It's an Al Nassr versus
Okay.
Al Ittihad
Oh,
match.
okay.
Kings Cup.
Kings
it was
Cup,
it's the quarter or something, and he's egging himself on. I'll score. Hits the wall.
Okay.
Indians who beat Australia in ICC knockouts in single frame. No.
Although Smriti didn't score, but yeah, fine.
Sure,
He's talking
Smriti is
about
the
the
big
players. Yeah, why are you laughing about the players?
Yeah, man, in one frame.
Players he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yuvraj Singh and these
Except
three.
Smriti.
Yeah.
Arey, but she's there in the
She's
team.
part of the team, exactly. But no, Harman 171, Jemmy 127, Yuvraj 61. That's sense.
Oh, Yuvraj, that celebration will just live rent free in my head.
After driving directly through extra cover.
When he went down on his knees. Gems
Gem
of an innings from Richa Ghosh.
Yeah.
Clutch of the highest
I
level.
agree. That was very, very gutsy to be tonking shots around like that for fun.
And that too, targeting Ash Gardner, who bowls brilliantly in the death also.
That's what.
Yep.
Crazy.
Go further, please. Yeah. Thank you, Alyssa Healy. Indeed. That was the moment which you think that was God's plan.
Yeah, it was.
It was Mumbai Chirani. Oh, not again. Yeah, not again.
Only 4 is missing. 45.
I know. Yes. 4 is missing. And kuch daag अच्छे होते हैं. Yeah. 14 years
The
back.
Gambhir.
Yeah, in fact, there was a
parallel.
big discussion that was happening amongst our entire team where many thought that India is going to win because now she's got the same mark as Gambhir in
And same jersey
2011.
number, by the way. Gambhir was the number 5 back then.
Oh,
Yes,
there
yes.
it is. By the way, somebody has picked this up as well. This was also picked up by us.
Yeah.
Stay in jersey number 5 playing a catch innings in knockout. We have seen this before.
yeah.
That is true.
That was on a different second date. That was there.
And it was also on a different ground in Mumbai,
Ground,
but yeah.
And a different match.
Different
Final versus
Semi-final.
semi-final.
Don't fall for the 2017 trap, please. I'm again telling you, don't fall for the 2017 trap. When India defeats Australia in ODI World Cup knockout match. Oh goodness.
Actually, the last one is the funniest.
I reached there first, unfortunately.
No, I went one by one. I was like, okay. Oh. The trophies.
Yeah, the trophy. Yes.
The first time the trophy celebration came into so much of news. Jemimah,
FC
Fan
fan
club.
club में नया हूँ अपना बैग कहाँ पर रखूँ? Rock the rock.
With a very big bag.
Yes.
No,
I'm the number
I'm the
one
biggest fan.
Yeah, please.
golden touch.
Yeah.
Golden touch.
Yes.
Yes. It was in that school game which you're talking about. Right?
Yeah, I was
Because
mentioning.
It's
I
not
think
school game. It's Mumbai because she's wearing the Mumbai.
Yeah, right. See, that's
Jharkhand versus Mumbai.
See, that's a
Yeah.
Mumbai game because she's got the Mumbai crest.
Yes.
Yes.
MCA.
Yeah, MCA crest, yes.
Yeah.
So must have been, yeah. हमारी छोरियां छोरों से कम है. This we knew would have.
This we knew, yes.
100.
This is the common trend.
Shivam had planned this meme
Yeah,
even before the match finished.
exactly.
Gandhi and Mandela watching the World Cup finalists. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it is
nice.
called the
Yeah.
Freedom Trophy, Gandhi
Freedom.
Mandela Trophy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep, it is. Go ahead, please. Jimmy हो जाएगा ना? And yes, हो गया था. It did happen. Yeah, that 100. The way she reacted to it, very focused. Hardly any celebration. Yeah. ये मेरा गाँव है और मैं यहाँ की जेमिमा रोड्रिगेज. Oh God, the
This
Singham.
is my town.
Singham.
Like KL Rahul. You
Yes.
should have done.
Kantara celebration. Yes. Yeah. Indeed.
Okay. On that note, shall we call it a night or do you have? Okay, last two comments. Ashish Chandelier, will this win or even World Cup win curtail Harman's captaincy and India many matches? Unprofessional approach to a game at crunch situation, and will South Africa be breathing easy? Last 7 knockouts versus Australia, India.
4 wins.
Now, firstly, I think why see, if India win, then why should there be any question marks over Harman's captaincy? If India fail to win this tournament, maybe for the next cycle you may think of getting another captain is a possibility. Just as you have in men's cricket, you go cycle by cycle. And
This is Harman's first ever ICC
Yeah.
event here, ODI event. Come on, at least give her some slack for it.
what do you make of Saraj Chandra? Thoughts on Smriti's wicket? Didn't think there was an edge. Even umpire was shocked.
I mean, see, the spike was fairly clear. It wasn't like one of those wobbly spikes, right? The spike was there. Maybe it was just one of those that wasn't audible to the naked ear. That does happen sometimes. Because I see the way Alisa Healy appealed. And she seemed very confident. It wasn't a stray appeal. She was very
I
confident.
mean, it reminded me of how Smith had appealed in 2015 to Ajinkya Rahane. He was the only guy who heard it in the SCG. And Stark had bowled and Rahane tried to poke it. He was the only guy who appealed, told him to take the review, and presto, there was that snick. So it did look out.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, no point, cribbing over it or arguing over it. The fact is, technology is there. It's for everyone. And, it showed a spike, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Rohit says, happy today, but I don't want the team to spend all their emotion after this win. They should keep their eyes on the prize. We don't want 2023 to repeat again. Only final matters.
Forget 2023 for 2017. If you have to
Good
keep
point.
it to the women's context, 2017.
Good point.
Yeah.
Indian supporter Ian Bishop in the commentary was next level. Guy almost pulled off Lionel Messi has shaken hands with paradise. Yeah.
He is cricket's Peter Drury after all.
Yeah.
Ian Raphael Bishop.
S3 G Blog says rate this couple 175, Kohli 82, Yuvraj 6 sixes, 70 of 30 balls and 65 in quarterfinal 2011 versus Gambhir 97 versus Dhoni 91. Oh my God, versus JEMI, that's a lot. That's a lot of
And that
knocks.
too, your mixed formats yet again. yaar.
But okay, if I have to go, I will put couples 175 1 without any doubt. Having looked at all other options, then I'm going to go with.
Gambhir 97.
You're going Gambhir. I'm going with.
For me, 1 Gambhir 97, 2 Kapil 175, 3 Jemmy 127. I'm not looking at the other knocks, and Yuvraj 65.
No, I won't go Gambhir 97. I mean, you're playing Sri Lanka at home. I'm not sure.
But you ended at 28 year jinx.
Yeah, sure. But you always had that game in control. Kapil 175 was just
that was freakish.
freakiest of them all. On those pitches, those conditions, to have done what he did. But then I'm also Kohli's 82 was phenomenal. Yeah.
But that was
So-
a T20. yaar.
Doesn't matter, but he's given you that option. You'll have to do now. What do I do?
Yeah,
Those are the options.
And ODI, comparing
Okay, you
an
go
ODI.
quickly, or you've given all, right?
I've not included the T20 Inox at all. Because it's an ODI.
No. He's given you options. You have to do. You can't change the thing now. Quickly, yaar, Siddharth. Come on.
Well, if that is the case, then Kohli 82,
1.
1. Then Yuvraj 70 of 30, 2. Then 3 Kapil Dev, Gambhir 97, Dhoni 91, Jemmy and Yuvraj 6 sixes. That is my order. He's mentioned 2, says Yuvraj 6 sixes, 70 of 30 balls. There are 2 knocks of Yuvraj Singh.
Wasn't the 70 or 30
Yeah,
balls
just-
the 6 sixes?
No, that was for, he had 5 fours and 5 sixes. The 6 sixes was against England. He's talking about a knock in Australia, semi-final, 2007 T20 World Cup.
Oh.
Yeah, there are 2 knocks of Yuvraj Singh that's he's mixed up in this.
There's a lot of knocks.
That is a lot of knocks.
Okay, just go 5. You've picked 5.
I picked 5.
I'm going Kapil 175, Kohli 82. Then I'm going Yuvraj's knock versus Australia. If that's
70
the
or
one.
30, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 3. No, actually, I'm going Yuvraj's 65,
Quarterfinal,
Yeah.
2011.
3. Then Yuvraj's 70 of Australia versus Australia 4. And then I'm going Gambhir 97.
Yeah.
Done.
Couple 175, Gambhir 97. I think Kohli 82 because that was otherworldly. Then Yuvraj 65 and then 70 of 30.
Okay, Siddharth says Jemimah's cut shots today were VVS.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's true.
But she's always been good at that cut.
Correct.
Okay, we're done.
Oh, do we have another? I think I saw another one popping up somewhere.
Yeah, one
just
super
check.
chat that was there.
Yeah.
Steve Ticolo. Good people mention Rahul Rawat. Vikrant Rahul used to mention. Nahi yaar.
He was not showing you. You guys insisted that you wanted to take that first.
No.
We've
no.
mentioned the crying bit. Thank you. We pointed that out earlier as well.
Yep, indeed. Yeah, that's about it. And
Chili paneer, we've done that. We've given credit to.
all we have given credit to Richa, we have given credit to Amanjot, we have
And
given
Deepti.
credit to Deepti. We have done it all. So yes, luckily the semi-final was supposed to be washed out. It's going to go into the final now. First time finalists, first time winners guaranteed for World Cup on November 2. So bye-bye from all of us and enjoy the night. It's a good night to celebrate from Nikhil, me and Shane. Tomorrow we'll be back for the T20I between India and Australia at the
Hopefully
Melbourne
one that
Cricket
isn't
Ground.
washed out.
Exactly. Okay. So bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye.